Hello everyone, Jolene here from Bookworm Adventure Girl. Welcome back. I hope that you are all well. This is where I talk about the books that I'm reading. I like to read diverse books and I highlight Canadian literature. If you are new, thanks so much for checking out my channel. Please hit subscribe and stick around. Today I'm doing something a little bit different and a lot of fun. I've been keeping a secret from you. Today I'm going to be talking about two books that were recommended to me by one of my competitors in Battle of the BookTubers, which is being hosted by the amazing Danni from Danni Dabbles. Danni has been putting a lot of work into this. She's running these battles. She's been doing it for a while now. There have already been 3 rounds of battles and with different booktubers. So to see which booktuber, the whole idea is to see which booktuber is best at making recommendations. So I will leave a link below so you can check out the past battles and competitions. I am in round 4 and you may have seen Danni's teaser video for this round, but I want to remind you of who my competitors are in this round, and there are 3 other competitors who have all recommended books to me, and I have recommended books to them. So first is Sam from her channel Samantha Donovan, then Krista from Books and Jams, who I have been subscribed to for a while, and her channel is probably the channel that I am most familiar with, at least before starting the battle. And then last but certainly not least is Jess from the Hexed Library. So all of their channels will be linked below. Please go and check them out. For this round, I am reading 2 books from BookTuber J. That's the other thing. We don't know who recommended, like which booktuber recommended which books to us. So that's been fun. We've all been assigned a letter, and part of the fun is figuring out which booktuber recommended which books. So I was pretty excited about all 6 books. And in this vlog, the 2 book recommendations that I will be reading are The Blue Castle by Lucy Maud Montgomery. And then the other one is 4 Treasures of the Sky by Tinghui Zhang. And many of you already know that I love Anne of Green Gables, which is also by Lucy Maud Montgomery, the Canadian classic, right? So I've read 4 of the 8 in that series, but I've never read any of her standalone books. So I'm both excited to read more of her work and a little bit nervous just because, you know, I will be very disappointed if this doesn't stand up to my expectations. So we will soon find out. For Treasures of the Sky, I've never heard of it before. But when I read the synopsis, this totally sounds like a book that I would like. It's historical fiction and it seems to have a strong female protagonist, which you know I love. So I am very curious about this one as well. So these are both really good recommendations for me. These are both books that I would probably have picked up myself, you know, if I happen to have seen them in a bookstore or something like that. So well done to BookTuber J. Now to the reading. I think I am going to start with The Blue Castle. It looks like it's a fairly quick read, so I will see you again soon. Hello again. So I read The Blue Castle pretty much in one sitting, and I am so happy about this book. The book was originally published in 1926, so almost 100 years ago. So when it started being about a 29-year-old woman named Valency, who was considered an old maid by society standards, you know, because she wasn't married yet, not gonna lie, I thought this was going to be boring, maybe stereotypical, but I was pleasantly surprised that it was not. Valency is not what her family wants her to be, which is basically married, and to the right person, right? So they are not kind to her. Actually, they're quite horrible, and they treat her like a child. So in order to escape them, Valency reads these nature books, and she imagines a blue castle, and she fills it with the things that she loves. So this is her safe space and the place that she goes when she needs time to herself, to have her own thoughts, and to be who she truly is and wants to be. So right away, I liked Valency. She was a lovely character. Her family, not so much. So this had similar feels to Anne's imagination in Anne of Green Gables, and the nature writing is also reminiscent of Anne's love of nature and her, surroundings. So this book doesn't take place in Prince Edward Island, which I thought was interesting. It takes place in the Muskokas in Ontario, which is also a beautiful spot to appreciate nature. So then Valencia takes her first step of rebellion, and she goes to see a doctor that her family doesn't approve of. And he tells her that she has heart problems. So instead of telling her family, Valency does two things. Her second act of rebellion is that she starts telling her family what is on her mind and what she really thinks of them, which is quite funny at times. And you root for her and you're like, yes, way to go, Valency. And then her third act of rebellion is that she leaves the family home, taking a job as a housekeeper for a friend of hers and her father. So Valency's friend Sissy has a story of her own, and she also doesn't follow society standards, and the two bond over this in a way. And I really liked their friendship. I liked that part of the story. And then, of course, there's the friendship and love story with Barney. So I won't give away spoilers, but this relationship is also unconventional, but it is so sweet. Valency's family basically disown her when she marries Barney, but Valency doesn't care. And there is a deep bond between them, and there are connections that you don't find out until the end. And I have to say that none of them were really surprising. And it might have even been a little hokey and convenient, for the ending and for the story. And I kind of figured some of it out, but I was loving the book so much that I didn't really care about that. So this book read so easily, and it was really just a delightful, feel-good read. I smiled a lot throughout reading it. There are some funny spots, and for a fan of Anne of Green Gables, it was a real treat to read one of Lucy Maud Montgomery's books that were written for adults. So in the end, I had to give this a full 5-star rating. An excellent start for this battle. So next I'm going to start reading Four Treasures of the Sky by Tinghui Zhang, and I'm hoping for more good news with this one, so we will see. Hello again, everyone. I wanted to do a check-in. I am just over halfway through Treasures of the Sky, and I have to say that this book sucked me in at the beginning. I couldn't stop reading it, but I have since hit a bit of a lull. It's not horrible. I will go back to it, but I'm finding that I'm losing the story a little bit. So let me start by saying that the writing in this is beautiful. At the beginning of the story, we meet Dayu, and there's foreshadowing like right away because her name is from a mythological girl whose life ends in tragedy. So Dayu wants to avoid this fate, but you know immediately that it will be very difficult for her. So exactly what the tragedy will be, I still don't know, but I have a feeling it's going to be really difficult and it's going to break my heart. So the story begins in China when Dayu is about 12 or 13, and this is during the time of the Chinese Exclusion Act, which I know next to nothing about. However, from the name, it doesn't sound good. Not long into the story, Dayu's parents disappear. They basically vanish. And Dayu is forced to leave her home, posing as a boy named Feng, and she finds work with a calligrapher. She just has this natural talent for it. And I really liked the character of her teacher, Master Wang, and how in learning calligraphy, she is learning life lessons as well. And so far, this is a theme that has, carried on into the story. So there are many times where she compares things to Chinese characters and sounds and her knowledge of calligraphy. So I really like that part. So one day, Dayu is kidnapped, and I felt like this was done without even realizing it was happening until, I was like, wait, what? What just happened? So I imagine the idea was to make it feel like it would for Dayu herself. And if that was the case, then this author totally succeeded. Dayu must learn English, and she has to act, dress, and look like a boy. So she is taken from China to California, and she crosses the Pacific in a coal bucket. She's then sold to a brothel where she becomes peony. And some of the scenes at the brothel were difficult to read. And I say that, but then at the same time, I almost feel like this part, and maybe even some of the other parts, wasn't as in-depth as it could have been. And then this is where I started kind of zoning out, because I feel like the story moved very quickly, but it had moved around so much. So maybe I'll actually stop there for now, but I will be back when I finish the book. Hello again. Okay, so I finished the book, and the ending is heart-wrenching. I won't give away any spoilers. I think the last time that we talked, I talked about the brothel. And after the brothel, Dayu believes that she can attempt to make her way back to China through some people that she's met. But when she escapes the brothel, plans go awry, and she becomes Jacob Lee and ends up in Idaho, of all places. She's taken in by two Chinese shopkeepers. And even though this sounds okay, Dayu still isn't safe because of the anti-Chinese sentiment that is getting so much worse, like on a daily basis. So what became important to me in this part, kind of the last part of the book, and until the end of the book, are the people who support Dayu and support her along the way, including a potential romantic relationship. So everyone is in survival mode, and there's a bit of a found family in this way, and that also makes the ending that much harder. So this was a pleasant surprise as a book, since I had never heard of it. I would definitely be interested in reading more by this author. I think for a debut, this is really, really good. And in the end, I gave this book 4.5 stars. I really liked the historical fiction. I know some of it is based on true events, and it's a topic that I need to learn more about. And the writing was beautiful. It didn't quite get 5 stars for me because, you know, there were some lulls. And although I like a book that moves fast paced, I think that it moved a lot, and it could have spent, like I said, some more time kind of going into depth and really exploring certain points and aspects of the story. I think it would have made it even better. But overall, I think this was an excellent start to this battle. So as part of the battle, I'm supposed to say who I think BookTuber J is and who I think recommended these books. So I'm going to go with Krista for this one. It really could have been any of them, obviously, but I think Krista and I have the most aligned reading tastes, and these are really my kind of books. And I can see Krista enjoying these as well. So we will see if I'm correct. Whoever it was that did recommend them, thank you so much, because I really enjoyed both books. So they were wonderful to read. A reminder that I will leave a playlist below so that you can check out all of the battles from the previous rounds. There's 3 other rounds, and then stay tuned for more battle rounds of this battle coming out each week in October. Please let me know if you have read either of these books. And if so, what were your thoughts? Did you like them, not like them? What did you rate them? I look forward to chatting with you in the comments. As always, thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoy the rest of your day, and don't forget to make every day an adventure.